I hope that you've been having a great holiday. I myself am on a 2-week hiatus from my show, and so I spent that time doing a lot of washing and blocking and washing. In fact, I got a whole bunch of hand spun over here drying. The thing I'm most excited about, however, is I have managed to finish 2 projects. One is the Twilight Disco Shawl by Visch design. I finally wove in my ends and I blocked it out, and it's gorgeous. I love this so much. I'm going to be talking about this more in my upcoming video about my best and worst knitting projects of 2025, so keep an eye out for that. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss that video. And I also finished this project. This is a Dove Challah cover, but you might notice something. My shawl has no pins. I did not use pins to block it, but my Challah cover, I did pin it out. Why is that? A lot of times when people hear wash and block, they assume that blocking means that they need to pin block it, but actually blocking doesn't always require pins. In fact, I would argue that most of the times you do not need to pin block an object. Blocking to me is a broader term that means that you're kind of washing it and then laying it out and shaping the fabric to kind of take the final shape that you want. In the case of my Twilight shawl, once I washed it and I laid it out and I've shaped the fabric and everything grew and I stood back and looked at it, I was like, you know what? This is really holding its shape. I don't think I need pins to keep it in this form to dry. My Challah cover, however, was a different situation. I washed it, I laid it out, and the fabric was kind of curling despite having a garter ridge border. And I was like, you know what? I think I need to pin this down and dry this so it stays really flat and in shape to help take out some of that curl. Because yes, sometimes you can block out some of the curl. So that's kind of how you know whether to pin block or not to pin block, which is, does the item keep its shape the way that you want it after you've laid it out and you shaped it? Of course, the other rule of thumb for when to pin block is lace knitting really to get that full open look that we think of with lace. Usually, almost always, you need to pin block that out. If you'd like to learn more about blocking, check out my linked video to this one. In the meantime, Happy New Year's and happy making. Bye.